the crowd last night at Fenway? Like, the Phillies fans were insane. And it's the first – we saw it a little bit. We were at our Ford Clubhouse yesterday, taking you up to the Sox and Phillies. It was the first time this year you really saw what we saw last year.
A big enemy presence.
Opposing fan bases taking over a little bit. Like, it wasn't as dramatic as the Dodgers and their fans parading down Lansdowne Street. It wasn't that dramatic, where they had a drone and a whole parade planned.
Mardi Gras.
It really was. Dodgers Mardi Gras.
Dodgers Gras.
But Ryan, can you play that again? Like, listen to the Phillies fans last night for Schwarber hitting a home run against the Red Sox. This was
There's
wild.
a swing and a high drive, right field. This is deep, back by the bullpen. Ref Snyder will watch it sail over the Phillies bullpen into the bleachers. Home run. Schwarber is second of the game, and it's 4-1 Phillies.
Like, that is, maybe everybody was maybe everybody was resting up for Brady Day. I don't know, but that was like, they took over that ballpark last night.
Or it's just a bunch of Red Sox fans who are like, good for him for getting out.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't rule that out. Maybe some of it's a message to John Henry. That's fair. Maybe it's not all Philly fans. But that was wild last night.
The snarkiest cheer in the world.
And when it comes to Kyle Schwarber, he was a big addition. The one move that Chaim Bloom made, I give him credit for it. Arcand, I think you give him credit for it.
For Kyle Schwarber?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Ryan, well, you're a Bloom guy. I forgot about that. I know Ryan kind of fights how much credit we should give him because he was injured at the time. I give Chaim Bloom credit for that addition. And it reminds you of the days the Red Sox, even in the Bloom days, it wasn't Dave Dombrowski, where they'd actually go out and trade for talent because they were in the mix. And so I was listening to Craig Breslow before the game last night on Nesson, and I was not encouraged, number one, by the wonkiness of this answer, like the stats and the probability, and it kind of echoes some of what John Henry said the other day in the Financial Times, but I'm not getting my hopes up they're making any moves at the deadline. If you were, I don't think you will be anymore. Again, here's Craig Breslow.
It's the toughest thing to decide which lane to jump into when that team is sort of hovering in the middle, because that's been the case the last couple of years. We'll see how it plays out this year.
Yeah, and I think there are a number of factors that have to go into that decision. We can look at the relative health and who we think is coming back. We have to look at where we are both in the division and in terms of making the postseason. And you hate to make these decisions based on projections and based on probabilities, but it's part of the equation here, and how likely is it that we can play meaningful baseball down the stretch, and how likely is it that we're pushing for playoff contention? That's going to manifest itself over the next month and a half, and we'll use every one of these games as a data point.
Okay, we're going to use every game as a data point. There's a lot that goes into it. Isn't it just if you're in the playoff race, you're the Boston Red Sox, you should be adding? Like, I know why he's talking in circles, and I know why he's giving you like a roundabout answer, but if you're the Red Sox and you're in the playoff mix, there's not a number of factors. There's one factor. If you're in the race, you should be adding. That's it.
Right, except all these guys are injured, and you'll be getting them back, so it's like you're trading for Tristan Casas, and like you're trading for Garrett Whitlock, and like you're trading for all these people who haven't been available. So, Jones, I don't know why you don't see this coming every single year. They're not going to do that when they have all these guys out and maybe coming back.
I never thought they were going to do it. But, like, to hear what is today? Oh, 6/12 day. Like, we're still.
Does anyone know what day?
What can anyone tell me what today is? We're a month and a half away from the trade deadline, and already the GM's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like that's early to be letting you know they're not doing anything. So did I expect them to do anything? No. Did I expect Craig Breslow to go on Nesson before the game last night when Phillies fans take over Fenway Park and go, oh, by the way, if you wanted us to add, we're not going to? No, I didn't expect, not this early.
I think what's most heartbreaking for me is they're wearing the math on the sleeves now.
Yeah.
Like, they used to at least just dance around it and pretend like it wasn't the thing that's making all the decisions for them, but they're like, basically they've got a bunch of pivot tables that they're running, and every game is another data point in the pivot table, and a super Excel program is going to decide what they do at the trade deadline. And if you listen to the way that John Henry emails the Financial Times, it doesn't sound like the odds are ever in the Red Sox favor. And so I'm sitting here going, like, it felt like, yes, a couple years ago when you would get someone like Kyle Schwarber at the trade deadline, and even then that was a move that some people looked at and were like, he's injured and they're not doing enough, and, it's already getting impatient with Chaim Bloom. Now that feels like a completely different franchise. It feels like a different ownership. It feels like different expectations. Now we're sitting here going like, fingers crossed, let's see what the computer tells us.
It's true. And at least Breslow
What was
acknowledged
the old
it.
computer?
Carmine
with Duquette? Yeah, like the Carmine.
No. Duquette had like a different. Carmine was the one that they had just recently, a few years ago.
Was Carmine with Theo? I thought Carmine was like way
Carmine
back
was
with
like
Theo and Duquette. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
No, I think you're thinking. Of something else. I think Carmine was more recent.
That could be. I don't
Although
know.
Either
way, they're sticking with the computer.
Maybe I'm not up on all my Red Sox programs, but yeah, no, Breslow at least acknowledges it. He's like, it's a crappy way to go about it, but we are going to go about it that way. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so I'm just like
it's a bad way to do it, but we're committed.
If you thought they were going to make moves, I got bad news.